On a clear Thursday afternoon, what was supposed to be an unforgettable sightseeing experience over New York City turned into a devastating tragedy. A helicopter operated by New York Helicopter Tours crashed into the Hudson River near Jersey City, New Jersey, killing all 6 people on board. The victims included 5 members of a Spanish family who were visiting the city and the pilot, whose identity has not yet been publicly released. New information has emerged about the final moments of the ill-fated flight, painting a grim picture of a sudden and catastrophic failure that left the aircraft helplessly spiraling into the water. The investigation is still ongoing, but eyewitness footage and expert analysis suggest a horrifying mechanical failure, one that aviation professionals describe as nearly unheard of. The helicopter took off from a downtown Manhattan heliport at approximately 3 p.m. on Thursday. On board were 6 people, a professional pilot and 5 passengers from Spain, Siemens executive Agustin Escobar, Merce Camprubi Montal, a global manager at an energy technology company, and their 3 children. The flight was intended to be a short but spectacular aerial tour of New York City. It was meant to offer breathtaking views of landmarks such as the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building, and the Hudson River. For nearly 18 minutes, everything seemed normal. But at some point, the pilot reportedly radioed the company, saying that he was preparing to land and needed to refuel. According to Michael Roth, CEO of New York Helicopter Tours, this process should have taken no more than 3 minutes. However, 20 minutes later, the helicopter still had not arrived at its designated landing spot. Then, at 3:17 p.m., the unthinkable happened. Bystanders along the Hudson River witnessed a terrifying sight, a helicopter spinning uncontrollably in midair. Moments later, the aircraft plummeted into the water near Jersey City. Perhaps the most shocking revelation came from footage taken by witnesses, which showed the helicopter's main rotor blades detaching mid-flight. This type of mechanical failure is exceedingly rare and nearly always fatal. Michael Roth, an aviation industry veteran with over 30 years of experience, was stunned. "I haven't seen anything like that in my 30 years being in the helicopter business. The only thing I could guess, I've got no clue, is that it either had a bird strike or the main rotor blades failed." A helicopter losing its rotor blades is catastrophic. The rotor is what keeps the aircraft airborne. Without it, the helicopter effectively becomes a free-falling object, with no way to control its descent. Eyewitnesses reported that the helicopter spun rapidly as it fell, hitting the water with enormous force. The crash site was dangerously close to the Holland Tunnel, one of the busiest travel routes connecting New York and New Jersey. In response, the U.S. Coast Guard immediately implemented a safety zone around the area, restricting marine traffic as emergency responders rushed to the scene. As soon as 911 calls began flooding in, emergency services sprang into action. The New York City Police Department, NYPD, and the Fire Department, FDNY, deployed multiple rescue units, including specialized dive teams. Upon arrival, divers from the NYPD managed to pull 4 victims from the wreckage, while FDNY divers recovered the remaining 2. The victims were brought to a nearby pier, where first responders attempted life-saving measures. However, the crash had been violent, and the freezing water temperatures, recorded in the mid-40s at the time, further reduced the chances of survival. Tragically, 4 people were pronounced dead at the scene, while the remaining 2 victims were rushed to nearby hospitals. Despite medical efforts, they too were later pronounced dead. The tragedy took the lives of an entire family from Spain, who had traveled to New York for a vacation. The victims were identified as Agustin Escobar, an executive at Siemens, one of the world's leading industrial manufacturing companies; Merce Camprubi Montal, a global manager at an energy technology firm; the couple's 3 young children, whose names have not been publicly released; the pilot, whose identity has not yet been disclosed. The loss of an entire family in such a horrific accident has sent shockwaves through both Spain and the international business community. New York City Mayor Eric Adams addressed the tragedy in a public statement, expressing his condolences. "It is heartbreaking. Imagine coming to New York City with your family, hoping to create wonderful memories and experiencing something like this. Our hearts go out to the victims' loved ones." As investigators continue to recover wreckage from the Hudson River, multiple theories have emerged about what might have gone wrong. 1. Mechanical failure. The most alarming aspect of this crash was the rotor blade separation. Helicopters are designed to withstand extreme conditions, and for a rotor to detach in flight suggests either a catastrophic structural failure or a mechanical defect. If investigators find evidence of poor maintenance or a manufacturing flaw, it could have serious implications for the helicopter industry. 2. Bird strike. Another possibility is that the helicopter struck a large bird, damaging the rotor system. While modern helicopters are designed to withstand minor bird strikes, a direct hit to a critical component could cause a catastrophic failure. 3. Fuel-related issues. Some have questioned whether the reported need for fuel played a role. Could the helicopter have been running dangerously low on fuel, leading to engine failure? Investigators will analyze fuel records to determine if this was a factor. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, has launched a full-scale investigation, working alongside the U.S. Coast Guard and the Army Corps of Engineers. The helicopter has been pulled from the water and is now being examined for signs of mechanical failure or other contributing factors. This crash marks New York City's first fatal helicopter accident since 2019, when a helicopter struck the roof of a midtown skyscraper, killing the pilot. The incident has reignited debates over the safety of helicopter tours in New York City. With thousands of tourists taking these flights every year, questions are being raised about whether stricter regulations are needed to prevent future tragedies. The Hudson River has seen its share of aviation incidents, from the famous Miracle on the Hudson in 2009, when all passengers of U.S. Airways Flight 1549 survived, to this latest tragedy, which had no survivors. Unlike the miracle landing that ended in celebration, this accident has left behind grief and unanswered questions. As investigators work to uncover the cause of this crash, the memory of those lost, an innocent family on a vacation meant to bring joy, will not be forgotten. Our thoughts go out to the families of the victims. This is an ongoing story, and updates will continue as new details emerge.